we are obviously today speaking about branding, your studio. How did the branding for that come about? What is your brand, Rucita, and alongside with your sister?
Big question.
Mm-hmm.
I'll start with our name.
Okay.
So the name of our studio is Ananta Design Studio. Ananta is a Sanskrit word, which means infinite and endless.
Lovely.
We chose it because it reflected how we feel about design and creativity, that the possibilities are endless, and that what we create, there isn't really a beginning and there isn't really an end. It will just continue. And also, it's how we approach the way we design products, is that we create them for them to be cherished forever. So heirloom pieces that you put a lot of energy and handmade love into, and then that gets passed down through your families. So that cycle too.
What heirlooms has your mom passed down to you? Because I know you like to borrow a lot from her wardrobe.
Yes. So fashion, that's the first thing. But she's got a lot of Indian jewelry that she's had from her childhood, from her life. Yeah.
Wow.
But yeah, mostly fashion.
Okay. And what is...
So can I just ask you a follow-up question there? Like how have you guys thought about positioning your brand? Like, you know, how have you gone about that?
It's been an interesting process because what we feel is our edge or our difference is that we have this cross-cultural heritage. So we're born in South Africa, but our roots are from India. So for us, we see a lot of similarities between the two cultures and the two continents. Like both have this vibrancy, use of color, patterns, but it's how do we find our unique space to express a cross-cultural heritage? I find Indian culture is not very well known here.
I'm from Durban, so I
might be an exception.
I'm well acquainted.
But I think growing up, even people not being able to pronounce our names properly, people not knowing what Diwali is, what our cultural festivals are, there isn't a general idea of what it is that you, as a person, what's unique or what your culture is. And growing up, I think we felt like it's not something we can share very openly. Sure. And with our brand, we've embraced this idea that we need to, it's what makes us unique. It's our voice. We need to embrace that. And so all our pieces have a Sanskrit name or some spiritual, and you shied away from the spiritual aspect, but for me, I think it's quite an important part of our brand, and I think it's great to share some of these things that are a little bit more personal, have that aspect to it. So does that answer your question?
Absolutely.
I suppose when it comes to spirituality, we're not talking about religion. I think that's why some people tend to shy away from that. How I think of it is that we're all spirit beings. And no matter where in the world you come from, we are all tied by blood. We all come into the world the same way. And so we are all, in fact, spiritual, if you look at it in that sense.
For me, creativity is an expression of that spirituality. You know, there's almost this innate thing, and I think both of you have spoken about that. And it's something I've thought a lot about. Is what same with you, where it's, you know, these things come through when you're really young.
Yeah,
you know, and
you know already.
And when you're really young and you're a kid and you're doing all of these things, you don't have personal judgment. You don't have this thing of like, well, you know, I shouldn't do this, or this isn't going to earn me money, or this is like weird, or whatever. You just do it.
Yeah.
And I always think like that is such a good determiner of what you're actually, what your core like self is, you know, and in terms of the things that you end up, I often find when you speak, especially to creative people, because they've often done the work to kind of figure it out, you can always draw this line. You're like, what games did you play as a kid?
Yeah.
Like, what were you doing when you were...
It all informs
you know, it
your
kind of
future
all
self.
informs it, and it kind of comes through.
Yeah.
And so I love that link between spirituality and creativity, because I think that is such a big source of that thing,